A former well-known Crip known as Keefe D. Keefe D is the uncle of Shakur's rumored killer, Orlando Anderson. Anderson himself.
Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in. And if you came up like I came up back in the game, you probably watched a lot of TV back in the day. And you watched a wide variety of TV shows. Me, Law and Order, First 48, and other crime, TV, and court news type things were things I watched and viewed. Now, I didn't learn how to be a lawyer, detective, or solve no case of crime or nothing like that. But two things I learned. When the police arrest you, don't give up no information and ask for a lawyer. And I learned there's no statute of limitation of murder. No matter what the circumstances is, whether you connected to it, you pulled the trigger, or anything of that nature. This applies to Keefe D, because here we are 27 years later. Anniversary just passed of Tupac Shakur's murder. One of the most legendary rappers of all time, iconic, impacted the entire world. Now it came out by AP News that Keefe D is now arrested. But the write-up says this: Las Vegas police have arrested a man in the deadly 1996 drive-by shooting of Tupac Shakur, a long-awaited break in the case that has frustrated investigators and fascinated the public ever since the hip-hop icon was gunned down on the Las Vegas Strip 27 years ago. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was arrested early Friday morning. Although the exact charge or charges were not immediately clear, according to two officials with first-hand knowledge of the arrest, they were not authorized to speak publicly ahead of an expected indictment later Friday. Davis has long been known to investigators and has himself admitted in interviews and his 2019 Tell All memoir, Come the Street Legend, that he was in the Cadillac where the gunfire erupted during the September 1996 drive-by shooting. Shakur was 25 when he was gunned down. The arrest comes 2 months after Las Vegas police raided his wife's home July 17 in neighboring Henderson. Documents said police were looking for items concerning the murder of Tupac Shakur. Police reported collecting multiple computers, a cell phone and a hard drive, a Vibe magazine that featured Shakur, several .40 caliber bullets, 2 tubs containing photographs, and a copy of Davis' 2019 Tell All memoir, Come the Street Legend. In the book, Davis said he broke his silence over Tupac's killing in 2010, a closed-door meeting with federal and local authorities. At the time, he was 46 and facing life in prison on drug charges when he agreed to speak with the authorities. They promised they would shred the indictment and stop the grand jury if I helped them out, he wrote. He described himself as one of the last living witnesses to the shooting. And one thing that I would never do is confuse and trick myself into thinking that the police care about keeping a promise. I don't know what would make anybody in life think that. I told y'all, I don't trust the lawyers, I don't trust the DA, I don't trust the judge, the police, the feds, and you want to know why? They all operate seats and chairs. There'll be a lawyer for this long, there'll be DA for this long, there'll be a judge for this long, then there'll go be a lawyer for this long, or they were a lawyer before, working on the other side of the table, if we keeping it all the way 1,000. And they all eat lunch together, give information, and trade secrets. Why would you think that they would give you a promise? Keefe D, you took this deal, you gave up your deceased cousin, Orlando, said, hey, he was the shooter in there. I don't know why you would ever think that the police would keep it silent with you. They don't care. Indictment on something that has no statute of limitation, murder, and any connection, you got to know better. You got to do better. But in the end, you can't be mad at nobody with yourself. Tell All memoirs, Tell All interviews. Later on, he did try to decode the information a little bit when he would be talking, but they already had enough to really say, you know what, let's go and try to go for something. I will say this, though. They did jump out here late, and it might be a possibility, because we're going to say innocent until proven guilty. Unless they charge him with accomplice or being around it or something, but I don't know what they can charge him with until the indictment comes out, because it's been so long now, and unless they have some key evidence, it might not stick. Just because they charging him with it don't mean that he's guilty. But I'm going to tell you like this, nigga. All y'all tell-all memoirs, going in these interviews for this clout, quick fame, getting addicted to this little attention you get from these things, or thinking you can sell your story. Sometimes, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and it keeps you out of prison. And we're going to keep it all the way 1,000. Keep yourself out of prison. Most of the time, these police have nothing that they can charge you with unless you tell them. And you better know, you never better trust them. I suggest you stay out the streets anyways, because it get real in that field. It get dark in the den, nigga. And when you dive in that water, it be hard to keep your head above it. And if you can't swim long and you run out of energy, y'all have been in the pool before, you bound to drizzle, my nigga. And I'm going to tell you like this with Keefe D. You got a deal. And one thing about quiet is kept. You should have kept everything about this situation quiet. Now, the other guy that he did the deal with, Caden, we know he gonna go sell a story. He told you he's right. He don't care about Keefe D or his life. So he was gonna put his side out there anyways. But I think with you telling your story, you might have gave a lot of people that itch, because they looking to break a big story to get their career off the ground. These cops, these investigators, they want clout too. And you know what? They got it. All off of you. Tell me what y'all think. We got more coming, more videos, all at 1,000 for shit show. Stay on your pivot.